What's up, y'all? I'm Josh Jayhawk Hawkins,
I'm Tim This That.
And I'm Eric Sutherland.
and this is Evil Things. So, right off the bat, we're just going to talk about what coffee we're drinking. I think that's going to be a regular in this series.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the idea.
Yeah. So, do you want to go? Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so we went to Brentwood Social House. I had to read the label on the thing because it's the first time I had been there. We're at
My second time.
we're at Josh's new house in Austin, and right around the corner is this place. I mean, you could walk there. It's
You can
right
walk,
there.
yeah.
This is my first time, and it's really good. It's really good. And you've been there before, though.
I've been there once before. I got the exact same thing. Actually, I got what you're having right now.
I went hard though. I went hard. So I got a latte, which is rare because I never do that. I never get a latte.
Yeah.
I think that you got a latte last time and you were telling me about it.
Yeah.
That's why I did. And it was soy latte, and I was just feeling it. But here's where it gets real crazy. This is a quad. This little cup, 4 shots. It's dark too. Tastes like an old man dipped a bunch of cigarettes in there.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
So the other day we had to go pick up some of our equipment from Sugarland.
Yeah, from Eric's place.
And because we just moved to Austin. Eric's still living in Houston.
Sugarland specifically.
Sugarland specifically, yeah. And right before we went, I went and got a quad shot of.
You had a soy latte,
Yeah, I had a
right?
soy latte,
Okay,
yeah.
So you had this exact drink.
With 4 shots of espresso, because that's how they actually sell them. They sell them by 2s.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, that's what we were talking about because the guy was telling me that there. Yeah, so if you wanted a triple, they're gonna charge you for a quad anyways and pour the other one out. So
Yeah. So I ended up getting the quad, and I honestly thought it was way too much. I was wired the entire time. It really wasn't until we were pulling into Austin, and this is about 3 a.m. because we left at about 7 p.m. or 8, maybe 8. But
yeah, Austin, Houston, it's like a 3-hour drive, give or take.
yeah. So well, especially to that area, it's about 3
Yeah.
hours. But so I didn't feel coming down from it like where I was like, oh my god, until about 3 a.m.
Yeah, but when we pulled back into Austin, of course my ass is dead asleep in the passenger seat. This guy puts on the radio, press pause, turns the volume all the way up. What do you have, like Integrity on, something crazy, and then press play, and I'm sitting there like this, waking up. I couldn't help it. I fall asleep. It's hard to stay awake in the drive.
Honestly,
but,
I made the effort to not do that.
yeah, but it was like the okay. I thought you did it on purpose.
No. I turned on the radio and I put it I put it real low,
Yeah.
and that way to check the volume,
Okay. Yeah.
And then I hooked up my phone, but since you turn your volume almost all the way up on your
Yeah.
phone, whenever it came on, it just went BAM!
I thought you were messing with me because I fell asleep. But to be fair, it was 20-30 minutes before we got home.
But
And I woke up at 5 I guess about 6 in the morning to go to work. I worked a 10-hour shift, came to his place, and we went straight to Houston. Came all the way back, and it was like 3:30 by the time we got home, and that's when I was falling asleep. So 6 a.m. to 3 something. It's a pretty good run.
by the way, y'all, this is Bane. He was the one who was shaking earlier, making all this noise.
That's bad.
But yeah, so today I actually got a soy latte as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what Eric, what did you get?
I just got regular black coffee with soy milk and sugar.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
That's the way to
I'm
go.
Just, that's
Yeah.
how I am.
Honestly, I wanted a lot of caffeine because we're getting this so we could film the show.
And I'm telling y'all right now, it's a mistake. He just made a mistake giving 4 shots at
I
this
can
hour.
feel right now. I feel like I'm gonna flip the table.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm gonna flip the table. I feel like Ric Flair in the 1980s promos.
And yeah,
I gotta rip my shirt off and start talking about my watch and take my pants off, start running around.
elbow
That's
dropping
how I
in the
feel.
air.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all the coffee that we have for today. Right now, I guess I'll just mention real quick what I'm eating.
To be
here.
fair though, before you get there, let me just say, first time going there, this is fantastic.
I agree.
It's really,
it's actually really,
really
good.
good.
Yeah. I
Really good.
I find myself wanting it to be a little bit creamier.
I'm getting some cream, dude.
But
I'm
which
getting
is
the creamy.
odd, which is weird because you got 4 shots in a smaller cup, and I got 2 in a bigger cup, and I still won.
Yeah.
And I'm still coming
Yeah.
to lack. So I don't know. Maybe he used just about the same amount of milk for yours. As
Maybe
mine.
because he knew I was getting.
I don't know.
I was getting 4 shots, so he wanted to compensate to where it wasn't too cigar-y. You know, I like that though. I like that. So.
We've always made this joke that black coffee or espresso, especially,
Yeah.
tastes like. Uh-oh, that's someone at the door here. But we've always made this joke that black coffee, everything just tastes exactly like liquid cigars.
Yeah.
You know, but it's really good for some odd reason. Actually, so real quick before we stop the coffee discussion or whatever. I do have these little like pastries here, and these actually, you know, I always mention this when I'm vegan. I guess that's a big joke for vegans that you always have to talk about being vegan. But anyways, this is from Zucchini Kill here in Austin. It's amazing. Go and check it out. They make these amazing like vegan pastries.
It's like a moon pie. What is that?
It's just like a chocolate brownie with like cream filling, really.
Looks
You know,
amazing.
and then these are actually like
Twinkies.
vegan-friendly Twinkies,
Yeah.
which we actually I previously had at my wife's bridal shower. I didn't go.
Oh, those exact ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go, but actually your wife and I believe you know some other. I don't know who else was involved, but they ordered a bunch of these.
Yeah.
For her bridal shower.
Yeah.
So I've had them
That I remember.
yeah.
You know, I would probably like those because it's different, but I never liked Twinkies. I never cared for them.
Man, I love Twinkies.
I know that's weird. I never liked Twinkies. They're just like, they leave that weird film on your mouth. It's just, ugh. I never cared for them. Well, I mean, just never did it for me.
Okay, well, so now that we've talked about that, let's get into our first subject, or first main subject, I should say, which is All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, this is where it gets exciting because we've been wanting to talk about wrestling on this since before we even had, when we first had this idea as our little brainstorm. It was, we'll talk about wrestling, and then everything else came after. We'll talk about wrestling, music, movies, all this, but wrestling was always, we're going to talk about wrestling, you know. So
Big wrestling fan.
yeah, we're big wrestling fans. I think everybody would know that by now. So
you know what I've always liked about Eric being in wrestling? You're really good with the dates. Like I could say, when was this match? And you're like, oh, that was SummerSlam '97.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
well, you
that
know,
is like my biggest.
I've
weakness.
done a lot of like research.
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Now that I have the WWE Network, man, I just go back and just
You know what's great about you though is that you're not just all right.
that I'm 6'5" and I can reach things on top shelf.
Yeah, because sometimes I
that's
can
pretty
reach it.
cool.
I've said this before. I'm a casual wrestling fan, but my 2 best friends are super fans. So I'm somewhere in the mix of a super fan and a casual fan. It's kind of a unique position that I'm in, you know? But it's different with you because you're not just a super wrestling fan, you're a sports fan. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, you're the same way with basketball and
football,
mainly basketball,
baseball,
really.
yeah.
Mainly
but,
basketball.
But everything,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I've always thought wrestling fit in there too. Yeah, it's entertainment,
Yeah,
sure,
sports
but
entertainment,
it
yeah.
is sports. It is the same thing, you know?
ESPN covers WWE now, so
There you
You
go.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, weirdly enough, I don't want to get off on too big of a tangent, but I was listening to Talk Is Jericho the other day with Mustafa Ali, and one thing I found really interesting that I've never thought about in relation to other sports, about wrestling in relation to other sports, is he was saying, why are we expected to be so perfect every time? Like, in every other sport, there's mess ups. You don't hit every ball.
Yeah.
In baseball, you miss shots in basketball.
Yeah.
So if someone
You fumble, etc.
if someone misses a drop kick, they call it a botch or whatever.
Yeah, and then they put you on like, Botchamanias and stuff like
Botchamania,
that,
yeah.
and everyone's making fun. Yeah.
Oh, what's
it
that
sucks.
Instagram that we follow? Oh God, I can't remember. Like
dang.
botch style. I can't
No, it's
remember.
wresting something. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Wrestle
about.
botch.
Wrestle botch, yeah.
That's what it is.
Wrestle
Check it
botch.
out. It's a great Instagram.
Yeah.
But
But actually now, funny enough, WWE is making their own botch show, so they're trying to take those companies.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
So like Botchamania and WrestleBotch, they're trying to get rid of those accounts.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about All Elite.
You can't talk about wrestling without talking about WWE. I mean, it's just like the goal is talk about AEW and we start talking about WWE. It happens every time.
Well, that's good. I think
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
mean-
thing. I want to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but let's talk about AEW real quick. Not much to talk about here that I think that we're going to have any differing opinions than anyone else that you haven't already messaged into. But I guess,
Well, we don't have too much to work with.
yeah,
You know? Not yet.
I'm not going to go into all the names that signed, but I just want to talk about kind of the three major names that are, or like 3 or 4 major names or whatever that are floating around in there. And I just want to address, I think the biggest name and the biggest surprise from all of that in the whole internet is buzzing about is obviously Chris Jericho,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
And Neville. I mean, his name's not Neville, but
Yeah,
he goes by another
Pac.
name.
Pac.
Okay, yeah, because you told me that and I was like, who? You know.
So
And apparently he's
that
gonna
was-
he's gonna be feuding with Adam Page, and that's gonna be
Hangman
amazing.
Page, yeah, that's gonna be dope.
amazing.
It was kind of one of those moments. It's like you think about like cool dream matches, but who would have ever thought about Hangman Page versus Pac? You know,
Yeah.
or Neville
Page.
to WWE fans or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, Neville was one of the guys when I started getting, I guess back into wrestling. You know, maybe how long has it been now? 5-6 years ago, and it was NXT, and Neville was one of the like 4 or 5 dudes that just did it for me. I was like, nope, I'm into wrestling now. This is amazing. This guy's incredible.
That's
and
funny.
and we talked about this the other day.
I really
it was Bull Dempsey, who I loved.
Bull Dempsey.
Bull Dempsey, I loved him. You know. Yeah.
Bull, yeah.
And I was telling Josh this the other day when we were talking. I even liked the bull fit gimmick.
The bull
It
fit
didn't
gimmick.
work. It didn't really pan out. But I thought it was a good idea. But Neville was one of those guys. What was he? Adrian Neville back then, I guess.
Yeah, in NXT was Adrian Neville.
Man, he was just one of those guys. I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah,
He's
he-
the guy that if you get in a fight with him in a bar and he stands back and goes, all right, takes his shirt off, you go, oh, yeah, I ain't got no problem, dude.
Never mind.
You know, yeah, never
Yeah.
mind. You know. Yeah.
Well,
So I'm excited about. I guess Pac. You know, I'm
but
excited.
that's actually where I was going to go with that. Is it's like I love Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, to me, in my personal opinion, is the actual greatest of all time. In my personal opinion, I think obviously if you're going to have this discussion, everybody's going to go with Flair, and I agree with that. But to me, Chris Jericho is the best of all time. He is the complete package. The length of his career. You know,
Still going strong. Still putting on
just-
amazing
yeah,
matches.
not just putting on amazing matches, doing the best work of his career.
Yeah.
At what I can't remember how old he is, like 45, 46 or something like that.
And not to say that Flair isn't the best of all time. It's just when I was a kid, Flair wasn't my guy.
Yeah, no.
I liked Flair, of course. I mean, who doesn't? But when I was a little boy, Jericho was my guy. You know, so like even if he really sort of was and wasn't, I feel like Flair wasn't really my time. I feel like he was a little bit before my time, and
I feel like maybe there's like another one of these that we can do where we just discuss Chris Jericho because that's how much I love Chris Jericho.
yeah, like I'm
I
telling you,
used to
like,
write Y2J on my
yeah,
backpack
like when we
because I
were
want my
boys,
because my name is Josh.
Jericho was the guy.
My name is Josh, so I used to write Y2J on my backpack. You know what I mean? And I you know, so nerdy, but that's how much I love Chris Jericho. But
Yeah.
I think what I was trying to get at though was that I think Pac is the bigger deal to me. Like I think him coming to AEW is the bigger deal. Like this guy's gonna.
Well, they're gonna
do
have to
something
build
here.
their own talent. Like Jericho's already got a name. Like that's it. They're gonna have to build with the more independent guys. You know what I mean? Like you can't just bring over the Hogans and the Flairs and expect this big.
Well, I feel like they
you know.
already kind of have that. I mean, they have the Bucks. They have.
Well, of
Cody.
course,
They have
of course,
Cody,
yeah,
yeah.
But even still, these guys.
And not to mention, this hasn't happened yet, but Kenny Omega is
That's where I was
probably
going.
going to
next.
sign. And
That's where
Yeah,
I was
this
going.
conversation-
Kenny Omega is the best wrestler in the entire world.
Let me ask you this.
And I don't mean just America, Japan, I'm saying the world.
Let
He
me
is
ask
number
you
one.
this: if Omega signs with WWE, how would you feel?
Well, I wouldn't have to feel anything because he's already denied he's not signing with WWE.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's been confirmed that he is not signing with WWE.
Okay,
I
so-
didn't know that either.
Yeah,
He
okay.
is
When did
not-
you confirm that?
I read it yesterday.
Okay, so that
He's
must
up to
be
date.
brand new.
He's
But-
up to date.
Yeah.
But-
So I guess my guess
This is
was
what I mean. That I say I'm a casual fan, but I still get all the inside information because my best friends are super fans.
yeah.
So
This is his options pretty much. It's either sign with All Elite Wrestling or Ring of Honor. But if he signs with Ring of Honor, he's going to be like Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and most likely New Japan. But I have read if he signs with All Elite Wrestling, that's going to want all like New Japan to work with All Elite Wrestling. So he would be wrestling back in New Japan pretty much.
I don't know anything about that.
I read that yesterday. I read.
when
a
are
whole
we
big
supposed
thing
to
about it.
find out?
Well, his
after
contract-
January 31st.
Yeah, his
Okay.
contract. He's still signed with
Yeah,
New
he still has
Japan,
it. Yeah. Okay.
but he's.
So yeah, I guess. Well, I had this whole thing planned where I was going to ask you guys who you think Kenny Omega is going to sign with, because there was this big question in the air whether or not he would sign with WWE or whether or not, because they're offering him apparently like an exponential amount of money. That's
Yeah,
just like, wow.
but hey, this is the internet, so anything can happen, really.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
of
I mean,
course.
he could.
We might have jumped the gun a little bit on it.
But either way, my guess was that he was going to sign with AEW.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what's going to be their big surprise,
Does-
like their big
does-
shocker, because getting back to a little bit on Kenny Omega, it's like, and like you were saying, yeah, like, dude, everybody knows, anybody who's into wrestling, really knows. WWE pushes this narrative of like, Roman Reigns is the guy. I love Roman Reigns. Don't get me wrong. I really wish him the best and everything. But they really push that like this is the guy who's the best in the world now. This is our new The Rock. This is our new Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan. John Cena. But everybody who's into wrestling knows that guy is Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is the guy. He just doesn't wrestle for WWE. But that guy is the guy.
Yeah.
That's all.
I
there is
also
to it.
read that if he was like this is most likely a rumor, but WWE had offered him all this money, and he also had creative control rights, like he can write what he wants.
And that's a big thing for a lot of these guys, man. That's a
But I mean, Vince
That's a big
McMahon, that's always like Vince McMahon's call. Like he's
Vince would never let that up.
yeah.
There's no way.
But then again, we never know if he's going to sign with WWE because again, I'm reading the stuff off the internet.
yeah.
But
Yeah, there's no telling.
yeah, but either way, if he was signed with WWE, it would be after the Royal Rumble because the Royal Rumble's this month.
Yeah.
His contract doesn't end until January.
So there's
21st.
no way he'll show up in the Rumble.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're getting
Pretty
at.
much.
Or is that where the suspense lies?
No, his contract, and this is just known, ends on the 31st.
I'm just
He could not appear in WWE.
Royal
in any way.
Rumble. I'm waiting for the gobbledygooker. The fucking gobbledygooker's coming.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's
we're all
coming back.
perfectly aware. He's
Yeah.
going to take
You
off
like
the
the Giant
mask.
Gonzalez, dude.
Yeah, well, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yeah.
Giant Gonzalez is my favorite wrestler of all time.
God. Do we have to have this conversation every time we talk about wrestling? We have.
When
to
I
talk
was a
about-
kid, I had these weird fantasies about Giant Gonzalez being like, do they know that the muscles aren't real? You know what I mean? And now I look at it and it's I still say, what was the goal there?
We're not talking about Giant Gonzalez.
Yes, we
We're
are.
talking about all of wrestling right now. Please,
Somebody needs to take
I can't
the
have.
torch.
I can't have any more conversations with you about Giant Gonzalez or about
Gobbledygooker.
Gobbledygooker or
With
about
me?
Shockmaster. I can't do this with you.
Shockmaster's a new obsession of mine. I just found out about Shock. I'm sad about Shockmaster. I can't make fun of him. That breaks my heart, dude. He picked the mask back up and put it back on. That hurts.
If y'all don't know anything about Shockmaster or
Don't look it up. Don't do it.
No, it's a part of wrestling history. You
It's
have to
gonna
go
hurt.
check it out.
It's gonna break your heart.
If you don't know anything about that, but I think anybody who's into wrestling knows about Shockmaster.
Yeah.
It's just one of the biggest moments ever.
It's my favorite.
It was
one,
the
though.
tightest worldwide world
Yeah,
slide.
tightest world slide of the 80s or 90s, whatever
the
time it was.
90s, yeah.
That and when Val Venus got his penis cut off with the samurai sword. Those are the two best moments in wrestling history.
I forgot about that one.
Well, when people talk about the Attitude Era, they think, oh, Stone Cold, The Rock, and all these greats. I think about Val Venus tied up, butt naked, getting his penis cut off with the samurai sword. Don't you?
No.
Right?
Never, not once. If I think about the
you think
Attitude
about
Era,
it.
when I think about the Attitude Era, I'm ruining your whole hilarity here. But I think about really the Monday Night Wars, which really makes me more think about WCW.
I know.
So I don't know because
we were WCW guys when we were boys.
Yeah, we were WCW.
Not me. I was WWF, WWE.
You made the right choice, and I can admit that.
Yeah.
But I will admit, what I would do is I remember WCW started at 7. So
At 7, and
I would-
then Raw
We
started at 8.
And I remember watching WCW from 7 to 8 to watch the first hour, and I'll switch over and watch.
So you'd have to watch
Which
the
is a
Nitro
lot of
Girls.
times when cruiserweights
You'd have to watch
wrestle.
the Nitro Girls, which was terrible.
Well, a lot of times the cruiserweights would be in on maybe that hour sometimes, and the cruiserweights were my favorite part of WCW, obviously because of coming back to like Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio and all these names that are just some of my favorites of all time. But and then Ultimo Dragon, I got to throw him.
You
in there.
loved Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah, I love
that.
Ultimo
Was
Dragon.
your guy.
I still love Ultimo
Yeah,
Dragon.
that was your guy. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I think at some point I've really thought long and hard about this. Like I know I want to get like a wrestling mask, and I think it might end up being Ultimo Dragon's.
Like a tattoo.
A tattoo.
You've said that before.
I should
Yeah.
say tattoo, but
It's a good idea.
It's debatable between.
It's a good idea.
It's debatable between Black Tiger 2, which was Eddie Guerrero when he wrestled in Japan.
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't familiar with that, but you've told me that before. I
Yeah,
think.
so it would have been
It's
between
ringing a
Black
bell.
Tiger 2, Rey Mysterio's mask, just because it's like I feel like Rey Mysterio's mask is the like avatar for luchador wrestling.
It's like the face.
That's true.
Yeah.
Getting to see, we went to All In Chicago. Getting to see Rey Mysterio, man, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
You really feel
God, that's
you
cool.
really like you know you're watching something.
Yeah.
that match was
He's
so
amazing.
fast
That match was
paced.
Oh, it was
so
unbelievable. And he
good.
was right there with
Gosh.
everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just amazing. But let's get off of this now. Really, I think going back to AEW, my whole thing is I wanted to have this whole guessing thing that we thought Omega was going to sign with. But really, is there anyone in doubt that thinks he's not going to sign with AEW?
I'm in zero doubt that he'll eventually sign with WWE. Does he have a family? Like, does he have a
No.
wife, kids, stuff like that?
No,
I don't believe so.
he's not married.
Okay, so he's gonna be out there doing whatever the hell he wants. You know what I mean? That's AEW. You know, like imagine if he had children.
I don't
stuff
know.
Like that,
You're-
then
I don't think
WWE
you're-
might be a little more permanent.
You're very well. You're not insanely educated on this AEW thing, man. They are making this to be a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
dude, they're
you're right,
talking
you're
about
right.
insuring the boys.
Okay.
Like the women there are going to be paid as much as the guys.
I didn't even think about the women wrestlers, man.
Yeah, they've already got Brandy Rhodes and Britt Baker.
Yeah, of course, Brandy, yeah.
Penelope Ford, so they have some really good names there, especially like Britt Baker and Brandy
Yeah.
Rhodes, clearly. But so they're really trying something different here. This
Yeah.
is something that you could be in a family and wrestle with All Elite.
You're right. But I'm just saying, like, it's like.
I mean, the
You're-
Jacksons have a family, the Bucks.
Of
you know.
course, yeah, but I'm just trying to picture. It's like, to me, AEW still feels like a risk. You know what I mean? Whereas WWE feels like, oh no, you're gonna be financially secure for the rest of your life, and you know, like I'm just like you always got to put yourself in their shoes. Like it's like signing up
I'm
with
gonna
the
say
NFL
this.
versus.
I'm gonna say this.
He's signing with AEW. That's all
Yeah.
I'm getting at.
Yeah,
It's gonna
exactly,
happen.
yeah.
I'm gonna say this. WWE should be worried.
Yeah, I don't think so.
How are
And-
we gonna be able to watch this?
There's no way that WWE is going to be. It's like people saying NFL should be worried about XFL.
XFL,
Yeah.
No, there's
They're not easy to
they
call, yeah.
shouldn't be worried to some extent, but they should be worried about the guys they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get off into
Yeah.
more of a tangent here, but the Revival. Think about them leaving
The Revival.
WWE and coming to AEW. There's a big thing on Raw.
That'd be
You-
amazing if that happened because you know once they went to Raw, that was it.
So, what you don't know, you're not aware of yet, the Revival wrestled just this past Monday.
Okay.
And I can't remember if it was Dawson or which one it was, but they wore, their trunks said hashtag FTR. And there's a big thing in being the elite, in between the Bucks and being the elite and Cody, where one of their catchphrases is "fuck the Revival."
Oh, okay.
That's like one of their big things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hashtag FTR, which is fuck the revival.
Yeah.
And Cody had a big thing where sometimes they'd just be in the middle of talking and he'd just like, fuck the revival! Like,
Yeah.
he would just yell that or whatever. But, and so he wore this hashtag FTR. So he could be, you know, who knows what's going on there. It could be a warning to WWE too, like saying, hey, either push us or we got other options now.
Yeah. How many times have, because usually we go to the shows together. We've been to NXT together 3 times, right?
I don't know.
So I'm
I really
pretty
don't.
sure I've seen, well, with you guys, of course, the Revival in person at least 3 or 4 times.
I think
And when-
maybe it's the 3 of us have been like 3 or 4 times, but I know him and I have been like 5, 6.
Yeah, when the Revival's theme
I've been to,
song
like,
comes on
been to a lot.
Yeah, you've been a lot more.
live, there's nothing better than singing along,
Yeah.
screaming.
Say yeah!
Yeah! And we grab each other, we start going nuts, of course.
People
Yeah, people are like,
are like,
what?
Uncomfortable.
And we're like, say yeah! Just losing it, you know?
People are uncomfortable with how much
Yeah.
we support the revival.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, I feel like boot stopping the guy in front of me and elbowing it, you know?
yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about them. I think
The Revival
they could have
are-
been one of the best tag teams in the entire
Yeah,
world.
the Revival are a bit dangerous.
yes,
The
watching them
Revival are a bit dangerous.
watching them on Raw is very upsetting. Watching the Revival on Raw.
Oh, dude,
It
it's
sucks.
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It really is. So I think, you know, I really actually kind of hope they go to AEW because I really want to see the revival.
Well,
versus
when is their
Ross.
contract in? That's the thing.
Who knows?
We're
really
gonna
knows?
find out all of that stuff eventually. Right now, there's just not much to work with.
But I
Even
think,
through all the internet rumors, we just don't have a lot of information about
Yeah.
AEW. You know,
but I think we've spent enough time on
Yeah.
wrestling here.
Yeah.
we
You
do
know,
have one other thing we want to talk about.
There is
so
one full other thing that we want to get out before we end this this episode of Evil Things.
we're all going to talk a little bit about the Lion of Wall Street.
Yeah, I don't think we plan on doing that every time where we're going to talk about the Lion of Wall Street. I
Yeah.
think that's always going to be a part of it. But since Eric's here with us today, we wanted to get, because on episode 1 we kind of told a couple of stories, or at least one specific story.
Yeah, we were talking about playing. We're basically giving a tour story about playing in Albuquerque.
Yeah. So we came up with the idea of asking Eric what his favorite tour story in the Lion of Wall Street was.
I have a lot of favorite tour stories, but my favorite tour story also has to deal with the show we're playing. We're playing in Shreveport, Louisiana,
Yeah.
at the what's it called, Dalzell
House.
I know where this is
yeah.
going.
And
Which
I remember-
Dalzell House was exactly what it sounds like. It was a house on Dalzell Street, if I'm pronouncing that right. And
Yeah.
it was basically just like a punk house. There was like 8 guys living there.
I don't think it was that many.
No?
it was
I
probably
don't
like
remember.
3.
3? Okay, well, either way,
I
it
don't
was
remember either.
it was a house that people lived at, and they did shows in the living room.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but they did shows there. It was basically a venue. Shows were frequently there. We played there like 3 or 4 times.
Well, I only played there once.
Yeah, but I think we played there at least one time before that.
Yeah, at least once before that. I know that. I know we've played there at least twice. But
Anyways,
we
moving
played
on.
there and go on.
Yeah.
But I just remember playing, and I remember looking up and seeing a couch, and like 3 grown men, butt naked,
Yeah.
moshing and jumping off this couch, and there's cushions flying everywhere.
So they had dragged the couch into the middle of the room,
Yeah.
and all the guys in the room started getting butt naked. And when I say butt naked, I mean
They were
I mean,
butt naked.
We're talking
Yeah, like,
we saw
we're
wieners
talking
and,
wings and balls.
Yeah.
and,
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
and
you
people.
know what I mean?
I remember people being in the front, and they saw that, and they were like, "Nope," and they kind of like went. in the
everybody moved to the back, but they were
Yeah.
all everybody was having a good time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was hilarious. And then
We had a few Houston people there.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend was there, and I remember her being very uncomfortable.
Yeah, her
with
face
it.
like.
yeah.
I remember her
Yeah.
standing in the hallway like.
It was like, this is the wrong show for y'all to have
Yeah.
surprised us at.
Yeah, we were on tour and they surprised
They
us.
surprised, yeah.
It was her and Mo's girlfriend at the time,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe. Yeah.
I remember being like, "Oh, hey, what the hell, hey?"
Yeah, and then of course a bunch of grown men get ass naked.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I'm like, "Oh, you came to the right show."
All right, so what happened was, and this happens. It's not the rarest thing in the world. It's rare, but it's not the most. We've done this maybe 10 times when we play a show, and for whatever reason, everybody takes their shirt off. Everybody takes their shirt off.
It's hot. it's
the
hot.
guys in the band take their shirts off, the guys in the crowd take their shirt off, and then it becomes a thing where maybe I'll say it on the microphone or somebody will say it.
Like shirtless party.
Shirtless party, everybody's shirtless. I've been to shows where that's happened. I've played shows with it. So that's how this started. And then I think a few drunkards were hitting the sauce
But
a little
if you
too
don't
hard.
believe this story, you can go on our Facebook. And
Yeah, there's pictures. Yeah. I think a few
Straight
people
up.
were hitting the
There's pictures
sauce
of
a little too
butts.
hard, and they took it a little too far, and they got ass naked.
There's even a picture of you that you have the mic and you have the pillow and you're like this.
Yeah.
You have the mic.
I was in
hand
my
and you're
underwear.
like, yeah, you're in your
I
underwear.
was in my underwear. Yeah,
Yeah,
You
basically
know,
all of us got
I'm
down
not
to
gonna
our
get
underwear, I
naked.
think.
That's
All
a
of
bit
us
much.
But this is also like the #1 show that, like, the best show I've ever played. I played so many shows.
You have to imagine that, like, it's such a small place
Yeah.
that if there's
5 people
probably
there.
25 people there,
Yeah.
30 people. There wasn't a lot of people there, but it's a
You're in
living room.
When you're in a small room, and you know, and even like a smaller living room like that, 25 people feels like 150.
Yeah, especially
Because
when
everybody's
you're
right
moving.
on,
like
yeah,
that,
everybody's
you know,
right
like-
on top of you, and and it really kind of creates this whole completely different energy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I just remember them dragging that couch. And it was like a slow build, you know, like, okay, where's this going? And then they're diving off the couch, and then
Yeah, they're basically stage diving onto each other from the couch.
from the
I
couch.
don't
Yeah.
know, why did they get naked? I just don't understand. That's why it makes this so good.
Why
Like, they
didn't
got-
we ever play there again?
Why
That's
didn't
the-
we get naked? That's the real question. Yeah, I think that was the last time we ever played there.
Yeah,
and then we broke up, and after
It
that we
was.
lost. And then we just lost the contact. and-
Well, I don't even think they do
I don't think that
shows
they
there
do
anymore.
like punk shows there.
They do shows though, because
Yeah,
I've seen them on. But I think they do like acoustic, like folk,
Yeah.
maybe like the punk folk stuff, you know.
But I guess if you're in Shreveport, you do acoustic, or you know, if you're a tour,
Yeah.
maybe hit up Dalzell House. Who
yeah,
knows?
I don't think they
Maybe
do
try to
punk shows
find
there.
some information on that.
Or
I
if
don't
you
even
live
know.
there,
Yeah.
Or if you live there and you see this video and you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I remember those.
I
guys.
remember our contact was
If
this
you
dude
live in
named-
Shreveport, period, hit
Yeah.
us up.
Yeah,
The dude that was our contact there, his name was Cody. I remember him well. I can't remember his last name, but he was really cool to us. He let us sleep there. He fed us. He booked. I think he even paid us, and it was a free show. Dude was cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not friends with him on Facebook or any of those. Like, that sucks. Like, I wish I still, because that was MySpace time. I would have been MySpace friends with the guy, and I don't know his last name, so I could never even look him up. So.
God, who knows, man? I think that's just how it is when you're in a band for
That's
so
how it
long.
works, you know, because this was
Yeah.
2009, maybe.
2010.
I
2010, yeah.
couldn't tell you really one or two, maybe.
I know for a fact the dude's name was Cody.
From that whole time period, you know,
Yeah.
booking touring shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all those contacts are gone. It's like,
Yeah, we had a whole different contact thing happening then.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, not that I mean to get off into something, but MySpace was just a lot more music friendly, and so it was a lot easier to book a
yeah,
tour.
anyone in the band will could agree with that, you know?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, MySpace, it was just different, you know, like with being in a band and messaging people and posting as a band, it just felt different.
I'll also say this as a small footnote on that specific tour and that specific show. We had a tour manager come with us. That was Corey, our friend Corey, who came with us.
Yeah.
And you know what? He did a really good job.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
at the time of our lives. Yeah, because he did a good job because the first time we'd hit the very first note of our first song, Corey would grab a trash can and throw it at the back
Okay,
of somebody's
so it
head.
wasn't just
that
that.
happened all the time.
Yeah, so it wasn't just that he set it off at every show.
Yeah,
for us.
he
It
was
wasn't
the hype
just
man.
that. There's kind of a level of like when you're doing like the merch, when you're coming along with the band
Yeah.
members, there's like a level, like there's like a small power difference, and not that I mean, you know, like they are an equal,
Yeah.
but like I have to kind of be able to be like, hey man, can you get this for me?
Yeah.
And it not be weird.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm sitting up on stage and I forgot something, you know,
And he was the perfect one.
yeah, like he was very humble about it. Like he's like, "Can I help you with anything?" You know, like
Yeah.
Like I remember I was like setting up and like I maybe forgot some chords or something. He's like, and he could see me kind of struggling. He's like, "Can I get something?"
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
"Yeah, I forgot the chords. They'll be in blah blah." And he ran and got them with no question, no problem. And you know, so I think that this is a very admirable quality to have when you're like
Yeah, and also holding the camera to take pictures of the band,
Yeah, exactly.
selling the merch. Number one,
Forrest was always really great
Forrest
about that
was
as well.
great.
One of the
at that.
best.
Forrest was, I'd say, one of the best because he was the most frequent. Corey was amazing, but I'm pretty sure Corey only did that one thing with us.
Yeah, he might have come off just some other one-offs here and
Yeah.
there come out.
I'd say Corey and Forrest were pretty much equals, really,
Yeah,
with
but
the amount of work that they did separately.
it's just that Forrest
was,
did more.
I think Forrest was supposed to be the one on that tour with us, but he got sick.
He got sick.
Like,
did.
yeah,
He
he
got
got like
sick.
he got like
He got the staph.
yeah, I think he had the staph infection
Oh,
and
I
he couldn't
felt
do it.
so
Yes,
bad for him, man.
So we asked Corey last minute. Shout out to Corey last minute, and he was working at Taco Bell, and I remember he told his boss that he was going on. I swear to God, I remember this. So Corey, if you're watching, he told his boss that he was going on tour with Grave Robbers because I had put out the record, the Grave Robbers record,
Yeah.
and we didn't have like a physical thing for him to show, but he had the Grave Robbers CD because I just put it out on this app, you know. And he showed his boss talking about, hey man, I gotta quit. I'm going on tour with this. They're a real band, you know. I don't know why, but I think he wanted to show his boss, hey, I have a
Hey,
CD.
this is something
This
serious.
is a real
It's
band.
not
I'm going on
just-
tour with them. Yeah,
yeah. Like this
I
is
don't
a
know
money
why.
opportunity for me. or
Versus
something,
showing
you know?
them like our MySpace page, you know, like I'm going on tour with this band, you know.
Where it has like
So,
1,000.
yeah. Shout out to
followers.
Corey. He has a podcast, the Mason Jar Chronicles. Check him out.
That's true.
Yeah.
He does have a podcast.
Yeah, he does like true crime and stuff. It's really good.
I'm glad we
was
get to
doing it with
push
him for a
something.
while.
I'm glad we get to push something for him. The
Yeah.
Mason Jar Chronicles. I believe
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
called.
Sabina, my wife,
Go
she
check
was
it out.
doing like a co-host with him, and you know now he's got a couple people on there. It's really good too. So check that
Cool.
out.
Good for him. All right. Well, I think that does it. Unless you have something else to add about that specific show or about maybe another tour.
That was just, I mean, all I gotta say is that was my favorite show. That's my favorite show of all time.
I think that does it for this episode of Evil Things. We got out all the subjects that we wanted to talk about with the coffee. We did the AEW, and we got a lot of wrestling out with that, which I hope we can do more wrestling discussions because that's one of my favorite things in the
Yeah.
world.
So if you're watching this, let us know what you think about Kenny Omega. In the
Oh
comments.
yeah, exactly. Like, where's Kenny gonna sign?
Where's Kenny going?
Really
In the
interesting.
comments.
Just leave a
Hashtag,
comment.
where's Kenny going?
Yeah, exactly. If anything, just leave a comment that says AEW, duh. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I kind of feel about it. Like,
I guess that's pretty much where it's at this point.
Yeah.
But I think that does it for this episode of Evil Things. I'm Josh J. Rock.
Tim missed that large, baby.
Eric Sutherland.
Yo, enjoy the show.